and welcome to DawnNews English with 20 minutes. I'm Nadia Naqi with you. Today we have Lieutenant General retired Ghulam Mustafa with us, and we're going to be asking him post 9 May protest, the way the reaction has come. A lot of people are basically commenting on it and are saying that nothing new is happening. The institution has probably forgotten that they had announced that they were apolitical, and they are pressurizing leaders from political parties, especially PTI, to leave the party. How far is this true? Let's have a discussion on this. Thank you so much for joining us. General Saab, tell us, firstly, I would like to ask you, 9th May protest, how do you see the institution's reaction and how serious is this?
I think it had to be that serious, obviously, because the monuments that are, there are certain monuments, national monuments, certain symbols that represent your Pakistan Army. Corps Commander's house is not an ordinary house. It's not an ordinary man living there. He's a Corps Commander of Pakistan Army. ABC doesn't matter. And the crowd, the mere fact that the crowd went there raises huge questions. Why? How did it reach there? And then whatever we saw, and we continue to see the clips of those things that were done on that day, it really puts everybody to shame in Pakistan. Yes, that's where we are landed. That is how we see our own army that has been in the forefront of helping its people in every possible way. There may be political differences, a different view about different things which have happened in the past. But have we brought ourselves to that level where Pakistan's premier institution, the one that actually depends on the public support to be able to deliver for the public, it is from the public, it's from the people. I mean, that is how you want the world to see it. That's what is hurting. It's hurting me, it's hurting everybody. It should hurt every Pakistani for that matter. But that is one issue that we are talking about. One is why it happened, how did it happen, and then whatever happened cannot be, there are no words at my command to condemn that enough. How? What is being done now after 9 May by the current government, that is actually blurring the whole thing which happened on or before 9 May. It actually is brought into focus yet another aspect of our national life.
Okay, so of course, the protests, the violent protests that occurred, and the symbols that you talk about, the military installations, nobody had ever thought that they are going to be attacked by crowds like this, in the name of protest. And how did it happen? This is one question everybody is asking. Why is it that those areas were unmanned? Why is it there was no reaction to stop? I mean, there are ways. Nobody wants, to fire, straight fire towards these protesters. But there is an anti-riot force. There are ways to, deal with the protesters. Why was it not done? Was it done deliberately to let the public know that this is what PTI is all about and this is what they were planning?
Nadia, let's put two things to rest straight away. You think Pakistan Army will let its Corps Commander, and 4 Corps particularly, whose commander lives there, to suffer that way? And any Corps Commander worth his salt, to get there where he was, it takes 3.5 decades plus of concerted efforts, and he has to pass through, and he has to different seas to reach there. You think he could not take care of himself if that was the need? We should be grateful to Allah Kareem and the fact that people exercised restraint that day. Imagine if Pakistan Army had opened fire against the people who are going against whatever basic norms are. People would have forgotten the protest itself and what they were doing. Actually, Pakistan Army would have come to limelight yet again, and for all the wrong reasons. And that is one aspect. Second is, if federal government had decided to take a certain action, there's always consequences of whatever you want to do. Wasn't it aware that there will be protest? Even normal day-to-day routine that we live in Lahore, because Imran Khan Saab is living in Lahore right now, we find our daily life interrupted because if there's a slight bit of movement here and there, the police starts blocking all the roads. Where was Punjab government at that time? It took from Liberty Chalk, from where the crowd started, to reach where they reached, and starting the first military checkpoint, crossing that one. For a crowd, it would take about 40 minutes to 1 hour. And I'm sure IB and all the other agencies, especially branch, they're all part of that crowd. Couldn't they inform the government? Couldn't they inform the police to take that action? When there's a army will react only once there is no other defense available to them. Basically, it is the police responsibility to have done that. Anyway, that has happened. That again must be investigated. Must understood is, and we should need to understand why people went berserk that day. And why did they attack army only? Who all are responsible for it?
Yeah.
Did we let our youth stray onto path so that he forgets about the misery that he's living in and he has a target to attack for all that has gone wrong in his life? I mean, 65% youth, that's what you're talking about. Out of that 65%, they're about 60 to 63%, 62% people. And I'm being very, very optimistic here, I think, on the plus side. The people who have qualified, worked very hard, they come from below poverty line, some or just on the edge, a lot of people, and they paid heavily to get there. They have no jobs. They are frustrated. That frustration, was that deliberately taken to that level? Where is the leadership? What is my political leadership doing, regardless of the other side of the divide? We haven't heard Mianwashi Saab shouting at the top of his voice in Gujranwala, naming the army chief and then GISI. They haven't forgotten that tweet made sent by Mariam Bibi, that those 144 children. I mean, how can be one so callous? And she said that it will be found out those who are responsible for it. And if you go over that tweet, it's very clear what she was trying to refer to. That is where we are right now.
But are you not going to blame? Are you not going to blame Imran Khan, the chief of PTI, who had been, his narrative has been anti-establishment since his ouster, and recently it was a direct attack, and he has been, basically even his followers have been nurtured towards being an anti-army, I would say, that the army is responsible for his ouster.
That is what is happening for the last year and a half. We saw that happen. I mean, that is not what somebody needs to understand. What somebody needs to understand is, on the other side of the divide, they are no less. Those who are now coming out to defend Pakistan army and everything else, they are no less. They have played their role in bringing the situation to this boil. And Khan Sahib took it to yet another level. And that is what we saw on 9th May. I mean, we need to put this in perspective. There's a lot that I can say about it, but the fact is that our political leadership across the divide have played a very, very negative role in bringing our youth to this level. And that is what we must understand. Instead of providing them the jobs, allowing the industry to flourish, creating jobs for them, not putting them into the government institutions, which failing them again, like steel mill and PI, etc. That is where the failure is. That is where the political and economic failure is. But
there's also one more failure. There's also one more failure. The institution itself has pushed in amongst the public. They have been providing the ladders to these political parties to come to power. They have been doing political engineering.
That is the history. Nobody is denying that. That's the history. And I'm part of that history. I mean, nobody is part of that history, but that has happened. But look where we are today. I'm not justifying what happened in the past. What I'm trying to tell you is that blame Jalal Musharraf all that you can. Blame Jalal Ayub for all that you can. Chawla for all that you can. But see what is happening today. Those who are supposed to uphold Constitution, talking of rule of law, what is happening today right now? Where is Constitution? When 5 years down the road, people look at this point in time in our history, will they say that the political democratic dispensation, so-called, which is in power and the opposition, they actually went around and put their force behind, weight behind in trying to uphold the constitution. We have attacked our judicial system. We have attacked the highest courts in the country. Allah ke baad, they are the people. That is a court that we depend upon.
Okay.
So what are we telling the people?
Now, post 9, it seems that the institution is now teaching a lesson to Imran Khan, cutting his party into pieces, asking people coerced, leave from the party. How far is this allegation true? It seems that the playbook has come into play once again.
Nadia, this is a perception which is being built around. Who benefits from that perception? Army definitely suffers, continues to suffer, and will suffer ever more because of this. And who will benefit from this? The moment you talk of such a perception on air, the first thing that you must need to go and must ask it, who benefits? I am actually very, very disturbed at this point in time. And those strategists in PDM who have been trying to bring 9 May into focus for reasons, some right and some very wrong, having gone past what is happening beyond after 9, the way police and the government machinery has been used. And very cleverly, the whole thing is being now deflected away from PDM and is landed in the lap of Pakistan Armed Forces. If 9th May is what hurt Pakistan Army and hurt everybody in Pakistan and should have hurt and must continue to hurt us, would Army be doing such a thing? They already know the kind of sentiments that is expressed by way of violent reaction on 9th May. Do you think any sane person, and they are sane people, let's be very, very clear on that subject. There are a lot of things that are going around, and I know because I live in public, in the media, and you see social media trying to push this all in this, but you must also see who benefits from it. Number 2, also see how do they benefit from it.
Okay, so let me rephrase this, or let you analyze this. You've seen all these political parties. You've been part of that system that you say is history. Why do you think that people are leaving PTI so soon? People's Party, PMLN, other party leaders, they all have been in jail. They all have faced a lot of charges. They have, time and again been into exile also for the same reasons that they had lockheads with establishments. But what about this party? Why do you think they are leaving so soon and jumping off the ship?
It doesn't look like a joke. It is happening on the hourly basis. If there's anything that should, I think, spotlight what is being done, I think a lady like Shiri Mazari, who's an academic, a PhD, and she has been, delivering lectures and educating us in National Defense University, and I've heard her talk in that subject also. When she comes up, and between the lines what she said yesterday, and let me quote another person, Maad Azhar, people may differ with his politics, he's from PTI. And we thought there is a good face of Pakistan politics emerging on the scene, a decent enough man, despite all the political things. The police has raided his house 4 times to capture him, to arrest him. And just yesterday, his father, Mia Azhar, is a very highly respected person. He has been governor, Punjab. And when Ittifaq Foundry of Mia Sharif family was nationalized, he offered one of his factories for this family to recover itself, and they did. They came to his house to arrest Hamad. He was not found. They were very rough with the old man, 82-year-old man, sick. And they told him that if you don't deliver Hamad, we'll take away your daughters and the ladies of the house. I am from Pakistan Army. My father was in the army, and my children are in the army. Pakistan Army, at its very worst, could never ever do that. We have shared a lot of muck as regard 71 in Pakistan. Luckily, the Bengalis came out to tell everybody that it didn't happen the way people are saying. We are from this I don't know, from the soils of the same sun. We are sons
So you're
of this
saying
soil.
that the current government right now is basically cracking an opportunity out of this crisis that PTI is in.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now towards the end, I'd like to ask you, all political parties have made mistakes. I mean, they've had their crisis. You know, we've seen Benazir Bhutto, we've seen ZAB, we've seen Nawaz Sharif. How do you now see Imran Khan? For the time being, he will not be forgiven, you know, or do you think time's really up for him?
I think Allah Ta'ala, I wish him very well, health-wise and otherwise. But the fact is that he did not made mistakes, he blundered. And there are a lot of blunders that we can talk about. One of the things that his opponents, political opponents, have learned about him, and they're using that against him. I hope he does that. And that is how military men approach when they are in a war, to see who is the opponent, and always like to react in a given a certain situation. That is part of our analysis studies, that is a must. And we devote a lot of time to that. I think his opponents have learned that this should be done. They know that he has his trigger points. And whenever that points are pressed, you trigger Imran Khan Sahab. Imran Khan Sahab then lets loose whatever comes to his mind. He's a national leader. We must accept that. He's a popular national leader. We must accept that. First, after 9th May, immediately as he came out of the court, I hoped and I thought that he would come out and condemn this unequivocally. He didn't do that. You must learn that politics is
in fact, he blamed the army chief for everything.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. We are not at war. This is politics. And up and down, a bit of bending and accommodating. And this is also part of strategy. Sometimes you deliberately lay back, enticing the opponents into a trap that you left for them. And sometimes it's a tactical retreat, is part of military, part of politics, part of every strategy that you work out. Why can't you understand that? But
so are you bailing him out? Are you bailing him out for everything, for his narrative, for his blaming the current officers, for him blaming the current army chief? Because it looks like that you're saying it looks like General Saab, that you're saying that those who are sitting in the government are bad. This man is good.
No,
it looks like that.
I'm not saying good.
Maybe I'm understanding it wrong.
Because unfortunately, we don't ever approach any issue with preconceived ideas. What I'm trying to say is that everything that is happening right now is being diverted towards Pakistan Army. Who benefits from that?
Okay.
The biggest sufferer is Imran Khan, and he accepted as much. And he's blundered. Who can ever forgive him for going so blatantly and naming army chief as Mir Jafar and Mir Sadiq? He has worked with him and gave him extension. He was all right till he was supporting him. I'm not saying that. I told you that he's blundered, and blundered big time. You start counting them, you'll need maybe 2, 3, 4 other programs. But having said that, what I'm saying is, as of now, right now, where we are right now, I think PDM strategists must understand that question, utilization of society, and disregard of constitution and rule of law is going to hurt them more in the long run.
Okay. Lastly, I just want to know that, he has been saying, that is, Imran Khan has been saying that I would want to talk to the army chief, but it takes 2 to tango. Do you think talking to the army chief will resolve the issue? Or do you think that Imran Khan should be, because he's a politician, he should sit down with his political opponents and talk it out with them?
Basically, he's a politician, and the problem is political. He's done a huge mistake by taking out of political field and taking it somewhere else. That is where one of his blunders is now coming to haunt him. He should have kept it in the political arena and contested his political opponents politically. Even now, if there has to be talk and decision, there has to be between the political parties and their leaders, regardless of how he sees them or how they behave. It's also incumbent on PDM to create environments where they can talk to Imran Khan, accept him as the reality.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lieutenant General Ghulam Mustafa, for being with us on Dawn News English. That's all for now. Take care and goodbye.
Thank you, Nadia. Have a good day.